President Trump goes after Fox News and Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. CNN accuses President Trump and White House advisor Stephen Miller of launching a war on black and brown people, even though they're removing illegals from black and brown communities to help them. Hakeem Jeffries gets owned on CNN News over the shutdown, and President Trump promises government workers will get their back pay once the government reopens. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. Let's jump right in. President Trump is attempting to surge National Guard from Texas to Chicago after several ICE agents were ambushed and attacked. However, CNN tried to catch White House advisor Stephen Miller with a gotcha question that Trump wasn't motivated by making America safe, but was motivated by going after black and brown people. Let's go ahead and watch this together.
Is it the case that, as Pritzker frames it, you are profiling brown people, that this immigration crackdown is designed to go after people of color?
It's such a, oh, what a dumb question. The illegal aliens who are here are taking jobs away from blacks. They're taking jobs away from whites. They're taking jobs away from Latinos. They're taking their health benefits away. They're taking their school slots away. And of course, in many cases, they're committing heinous crimes. We cannot have a system of law in this country that privileges illegal aliens over American citizens. And that's what they're doing. You know it, and I know it.
So that's not exactly a no, Stephen. Can you just unequivocally state that the immigration policy...
I said it's a dumb question. Okay.
Well, I appreciate that. But
it's a dumb question.
So no, this policy is not designed.
I thought when I said it was a dumb question, it meant no.
Well, I just want to be clear and precise. I appreciate you trying to qualify my questions, but nevertheless, I think it's a fair one that a lot of people have.
My full answer is no. That is a lie, and it's a dumb question.
All right. No, we're not going after black and brown people. We're not racially profiling. We are going after illegal immigrants that Democrats surged into black and brown communities. People in Chicago have been complaining about this. They took over our YMCA. They're out bidding us on rent. They're getting money for groceries. They're taking over our communities and our apartments. So it was a dumb question, but then again, it came from CNN, so I'm really not that shocked. Okay, speaking more on the government shutdown, according to Politico, a new White House memo warns that the ongoing government shutdown could cost the U.S. economy $15 billion in GDP each week the government is closed. If it lasts a month, it could add 43,000 new unemployment claims and cut consumer spending by $30 billion, half from unpaid federal workers and half from the ripple effect across local businesses. For those unaware, the shutdown now stems from a fierce partisan battle over funding Obamacare subsidies, which the Trump administration argues would benefit undocumented immigrants, a claim Democrats reject. Nearly 1.9 million federal employees are now either furloughed or working without pay, most of them in the Washington, D.C. area. But Hakeem Jeffries decided to go on an interview and say that this was Republicans' fault. However, he gets owned pretty hard. Let's go ahead and watch this together. I think I said earlier that it was CNN. I meant MSNBC.
Let me ask you, because you say this is a Republican shutdown, but it's Democratic senators who are withholding their votes on what is called a clean resolution. That means no strings attached, which is something, quite frankly, Leader, that you and other Democrats have advocated for in the past. Take a look.
You do not use the threat of shutting down government to try to advance your policy agenda.
First thing that the House has to do is pass a clean 6-week CR.
A continuing resolution that is at the fiscal year 2023 levels is the only way forward.
All right, let's play that one more
But
time.
let me ask you, because you say this is a Republican shutdown, but it's Democratic senators who are withholding their votes on what is called a clean resolution.
Oh, you say that this is a Republican problem, yet it's Democrats that are withholding their vote from a clean resolution. I love that. She then goes on to show him example after example after example of Democrats saying how terrible that would be for the country, that this is the wrong move. And yet here we are with Democrats keeping the government closed. All right, now President Trump decided to pick a fight and go after Fox News. And honestly, he makes some really good points. So let me go ahead and read those to you. President Trump said, "Why is Fox News and Peter Doocy putting on Democrat Senator Mark Kelly to talk about totally unabated or challenged health care? The fake spin is so bad for Republicans that it is hard to believe that we win. It will be very unfair in the future when they don't have Trump to fight for them. Therefore, we should fix it now. I'm watching this interview. It just doesn't end. Fox should either get on board or get off board now. But at this point, it just doesn't make any difference to me. They suck up the ratings because of us, then spin them in the Democrats' direction. They refuse to put up polls that correctly show me at 65% in popularity, a Republican record. But if I have a fake bad poll, many of which are done by Fox, one of the worst pollsters out there is Fox News poll, they put them up immediately and with gusto. Republicans are so tired of this fight with Fox always trying to be so politically correct. Thank you for your attention to this matter." So President Trump makes a great point. CNN, MSNBC, they're not pretending that they aren't 100% on board for Democrat talking points, making things look like they're all about the Democrats, making things look bad for Donald Trump. But then Fox News, they try to play both sides of the aisle, and it just ends up not being a fair fight. Now, in financial news, the Treasury Department is reportedly considering minting a new $1 coin featuring President Donald Trump to mark the 250th anniversary of America. The idea comes from bipartisan legislation passed in 2020 during President Trump's first term. Now, according to the early draft overseen by U.S. Treasurer Brandon Beach, the coin would show Trump's profile on one side and an image of him raising a clenched fist in front of the American flag on the other with the words "fight, fight, fight." A Treasury spokesperson praised Trump's leadership, saying the nation heads into the 250th year, stronger, more prosperous, and better than ever. President Trump would absolutely love it. However, critics argue that featuring a living person on U.S. currency is almost unheard of and could violate rules. I mean, the truth is they just don't want to see President Trump. Can you imagine? They hate this guy so much. They secretly wish he was dead. They don't want his face going down. They want Biden or Kamala Harris or Barack Obama, but that's not what's going to happen. It's most likely going to be Donald Trump, and they and their children and their children's children will have to look at Donald Trump's mug if they want to spend money down the road. Let me know in the comments. Would you like to see President Trump and fight, fight, fight on the new $1 coin? I think it would actually be really great. All right, now in immigration and international news, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem revealed on Fox News that cartel gangs and terrorist groups have put out $10,000 bounties on federal immigration agents' lives and $2,000 reward for kidnapping them, even sharing photos of agents online through their criminal networks. Noem called this situation extremely dangerous and unprecedented, saying intelligence reports show organized plots to ambush and kill officers who've been disrupting cartel operations. She pointed to several recent attacks, including a sniper shooting at ICE facility in Dallas, Texas last month that left one detainee dead and 2 others injured before the gunman took his own life. In Chicago, a 10-vehicle caravan allegedly tried to run down Border Patrol agents while firing semi-automatic weapons at them, leading agents to return fire and hospitalize one suspect. So they've actually now arrested one gang member who put out the $10,000 hit to take out ICE agents. This is disgusting and repugnant, and I'm glad that they're calling this out. These people are employed to go after illegal immigrants, to make your community safer, to give you an opportunity at a job, to give you an opportunity at a house or an apartment, or so that the price of your groceries don't surge. But a lot of people in Chicago, Memphis, Portland, they don't care. They don't want that. Now, in response, President Trump deployed 300 National Guard troops to Illinois to stabilize the situation amid growing protests that Kristi Noem believes are funded and coordinated. There will likely be an investigation, and we'll learn more about this down the road. But isn't that crazy? These people are literally having to put their life on the line. Did you know a dangerous amount of microplastics are now being found in our water, food, bloodstream, even our brains? These tiny plastic particles, often invisible to the naked eye, carry toxic chemicals like BPA that disrupt hormones, damage DNA, and inflame our organs. They affect everything from metabolism to fertility, and have even been linked to cancer, neurological disorders, autoimmune disease, and developmental issues in children. The worst part, there's no way to avoid exposure. It's everywhere. But there is a way to fight back, and it starts in your gut. Your gut is your first line of defense. A healthy microbiome can bind to and break down microplastic toxins before they poison your cells. But if your own gut is compromised, those toxins sneak right through, wreaking havoc on your immune system, energy levels, digestion, skin, even your brain. That's why we're healing our guts through kimchi. Now, kimchi restores the gut flora in your gut. Because in a world full of plastic, your gut needs to be bulletproof. Today, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking on the link below, or you can use code Gardner to get 25% off your order. For an even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore right now to get up to 50% off your order and free shipping. This stuff is great. It's been awesome for my gut, my bowels, my digestion, bowel movements. It's been awesome. And why save 25% when you can save up to 50% and get free shipping? Again, give them a call at 888-908-4425. Okay, over the weekend, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth spoke to thousands of Navy sailors and civilians at Naval Station Norfolk for the Navy's 250th anniversary, highlighting President Trump's America First policy and peace through strength approach. Hegseth announced plans to grow the Navy with more sailors, more ships, more submarines, and more ammunition, and confirmed the Pentagon's new name, the Department of War. Secretary Hegseth took aim at woke diversity programs, saying, "Strength doesn't come from identity politics, but from unity of purpose, a shared mission, and love of country," citing Revolutionary War hero John Paul Jones. He praised sailors as true warfighters dedicated to defending America. The crowd erupted in applause throughout the event. It also featured First Lady Melania Trump and a 45-minute speech by President Trump. But let me show you what Hegseth had to say, and then I'll show you what President Trump had to say, because both very, very inspiring.
Strongest, most powerful, most lethal, most ready military on the planet. And he's going to make sure we keep it that way. This is the perfect way to mark 250 years of the United States Navy. You know, President Trump has made our mission clear: America first and peace through strength, with common sense at every turn. At the War Department, it is the War Department, we're committed to that core mission of peace through strength. And for the Navy, that means more sailors, more subs, more ships, and more munitions for all of them. The Navy and the Marine Corps embody the resilience of our country. Nobody in the world does it better than the United States Navy. Always remember this. Fact. You are not civilians, you are different. Sailors, SEALs, Marines, you were set apart for a distinct purpose. Your diversity is not your strength. Your strength is your unity of purpose, your shared mission, your love of country. Generation after generation, battle after battle, ship after ship, sailor after sailor, you have set the tone. The story began with John Paul Jones when he declared, "I have not yet begun to fight." Today, we have a commander-in-chief who fights for all of you and fights for our country every single day. A commander-in-chief who guarantees that you, the warfighters, have everything you need on the high seas to deter our enemies and, if necessary, win overwhelmingly. We have a president who appreciates your dedication. He appreciates your service, your sacrifice, and that of your family as well. And as I always tell every service member, every sailor I see, he has your back. So warfighters, on behalf of everyone at the Department of War, thank you. Thank you for your commitment to America's Navy. You stand the watch 250 years later. God bless you. God, and may God bless our great republic. Godspeed. Thank you.
All right. Very inspiring. President Trump, Pete Hegseth, they are gearing up to make the U.S. military the most lethal fighting machine in the world. They're getting ready to repair ships, build new ships, tanks, guns, drones. They've already said that they need over 400,000 electricians, 80,000 welders, plumbers, mechanics, machine shop workers. It's going to boom the economy as we rebuild our U.S. military. Now, in response, amid government shutdown, now in its 5th day, President Trump spoke to service members after Pete Hegseth. And he assured everybody that your money isn't going to go to illegal immigrants. And he thanked them for continuing to work, even though the government was shut down. Let me go ahead and show you this because he promises that each one of them is going to get their back pay.
The U.S. Navy always stands for America. As your commander-in-chief, I will always stand for you. I promise you that. You know that. That's why you voted for me in numbers that nobody's ever seen before. And I want you to know that despite the current Democrat-induced shutdown, we will get our service members every last penny. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. It's all coming. It's coming. And even more because I'm supporting the across-the-board pay raises for every sailor and service member of the United States Armed Forces. But we have to take care of this little gnat that's on our shoulder called the Democrats. They want to give all of our money to illegal aliens that pour into the country. And, you know, I have a bigger heart than they do. But the problem is when you do that, they come in by the millions. Everybody wants that, so you can't do it.
All right. I'm going to fight so the illegal immigrants don't get your money. You're going to get your back pay, and we're going to get you a raise. This is somebody who has committed to making America safe. So I'm just so grateful for President Trump. He doesn't have to do this. He could just literally be playing golf and hanging out with First Lady Melania. The shutdown means essential military personnel must keep working, even if pay is delayed beyond 2 weeks. He has guaranteed them that they will get that money back. All right, this is a big story. According to Axios News, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Donald Trump got into a heated conversation late last night. Trump called with excitement, saying, "We've got envoys going to Egypt. We're going to clear out Gaza, get the people to safety, and we're going to have people from the Abraham Accords, other Arabic nations, come in and rebuild Gaza." Well, Benjamin Netanyahu didn't like that. He did not like that. So he wants to continue to fight, even though he says he wants peace. Well, they kind of got into it. He called and said when Hamas came back with a yes, President Trump's Gaza peace proposal, Trump was excited. He called Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu said that this was nothing to celebrate and that it meant nothing. Wow. Think how much America has sacrificed for Israel, for Benjamin Netanyahu, and he says this is nothing to celebrate. It means nothing. President Trump said, "I don't know why you're always so effing negative. This is a win. Take it." So President Trump is the most pro-Israel, pro-Jewish president we've had, and he is sick and tired of the killing. He wants this war to come to an end. He wants to look at a two-state solution. He wants the people that are there to not live in rubble. It's literally been decimated. So he wants Arabic nations to step in and help their Arabic brothers and sisters in Palestine and to make it into a great place with jobs, safety, security, get Hamas out of there. President Trump wants to work with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Egypt. Israel didn't like it. Furthermore, in a Truth Social post, President Trump announced the peace talks with Hamas have been very successful. Things are moving forward. Hostages will be transferred. Trump said he's in discussions between Hamas and several Arab and Muslim nations and have had positive steps moving forward. Things are being discussed in Egypt as I deliver this news to you. And according to the Times of Israel, Hamas has agreed to parts of the plan, but is demanding the release of several high-profile Palestinian prisoners. Israel says, no, we don't want to hand over our prisoners. Those demands include figures like Marwan Barghouti, convicted of multiple murders, including the Second Intifada, Ahmed Sadat, leader of the Popular Front of the Liberations of Palestine, Ibrahim Hamed, a Hamas commander sentenced to 45 years in prison, Abbas al-Said, behind the 2002 Park Hotel bombing, Hassan Salama, an organized suicide attack leader. So Hamas wants these people back. Nobody wants to hand these people back. But how many thousands of people need to die? So President Trump says Israel needs to be open to negotiation. Other sticking points include Hamas's push for a larger initial IDF withdrawal from Gaza, a full timeline for Israel's pullout, and a greater role for the Palestinian authorities in governing Gaza after the war. There's still a lot to be handled. President Trump is optimistic. He's working with other nations. Israel is not optimistic, and they're mad at President Trump. But again, he said, quit being so effing negative. This is a win. Take it. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. That's my update. If you could, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.